welcome everyone, my name is Jack and this is the Division Beta. I've played about 2 to 3 hours and I'm very keen to share my thoughts on this beta and on the game itself with you because I had a lot of preconceived ideas. I was actually quite disappointed with the game and I've got a lot to talk about. So I'll start off with my thoughts initially before I played the beta is that I saw the previews of the game and how there's this weaponized virus and it's hit New York and it's just devastated it. And the trailers were beautiful and dark, but it seems like a world to be very interesting, kind of like I Am Legend in a way, a world which has been absolutely devastated. In I Am Legend, which is a Will Smith movie, there's kind of like zombies and they're feral, and everything's overgrown. This, not that, there's just, everyone's dead, and those who are alive are either trying to get things back together or are rioting and just getting everything for themselves. But things are still, they're not like overgrown, everything's still, I guess it's still urban, it's still being used, there is power and electricity, but you can tell something bad's happened there. One thing I will say is this world is amazing. It's one of the most beautiful worlds I've seen, and compared to something which is beautiful and makes you happy, it's beautiful in its darkness, but it's very well realized. The realism and how things are portrayed are amazing. Like over here, there's this memorial. This is like a work ground for new arrivals, workers to the city, trying to save things and make it better. And just having this memorial, it's just a small piece that makes this world beautiful. And so I saw the trailers, I'm like, this is going to be an amazing, hardcore survival game. It's going to be great. And it wasn't that. When the reports came out of the beta, probably a couple of weeks ago, people were saying, actually, it's not like that. Everyone's bullet sponges. You have to shoot someone 20 times for them to die. And I was like, I was so disappointed. I was really worried for the game then, because it sounded like Borderlands or Destiny. Wasn't what I expected, but after playing it, I really like it. It's an RPG. When you treat it as an RPG and not as something which is like an action or survival, hardcore survival game, it actually does it really, really well. And even one thing, I think this game is very similar to Destiny, except for its content. Like it has a story, you do missions, you can do it single player, you can do it in groups. There's no raids, whatnot. But they have matchmaking, and I can instantly find people either for free roaming or for dark zoning, which we'll talk about in a moment, and you can just instantly go matchmaking. That's something that Destiny's missing, and I'd really like to see in Destiny, even though I don't have a console. But I think it would make that game so much better. This game has it, seems to work amazing. So, playing the beta, what are my initial impressions? The world is incredible. The gameplay that they show you, the single player is very limited, and so I'm worried about long term. But it sets itself up very well. The polish, though, is incredible. Graphically, the details, I'm running at very, very high settings, but just from everything, there is some MMO here, so these are other characters running around, but when you run out, you don't see them very often. But the polish you'll see is just amazing. Let's jump into the options here, and it augments itself in front of you, which is amazing. There's intel to pick up, even though you can't currently do this in the beta. But just like the settings menu. The settings menu, I think, is a great example for why this game is incredible. Ubisoft games genuinely, they feel like they're just pumped down on this chain, it's just game after game after game, but this feels like it has so much love put into it. Let's go to key mapping. See this button at the bottom? You can set instantly the game to work for left-handed people. I haven't pushed it, but I've never seen that in a game before. How cool is that? And then there's every button under the sun here. Video settings, so we've got some basics, but if we go down to graphics, there's a lot of settings here. A lot of settings that you can tweak. There's so many to play with. Interface, you can trigger the size. Dual monitor? Oh wow, I didn't even know that if you hover over something, it pops up with text. Oh, that's so cool. So you can configure the UI to support user preferences. Oh, that's so neat. So oh look, and it's showing me the things on the interface, how big do I want the chat, the scale, how much vertically. Oh, wow. Very, very cool. Just the amount of details, because it is an MMO, it's an RPG, you're looking at your interface quite a lot. Visual settings, what things do you want to see? Do you want to see chat? Do you want to see distance units? Audio, again, heaps of stuff to see. Oh, look, it can see my talking right now. And so, auto talking, I wonder if, hopefully it's not an auto talking. Microphone enabled, voice chat, mixed type homes, there's so many things. Push to talk. Yes. Goodness me, I think people have been listening to me talk. That's hilarious. Language, third-party things, LED keyboard support. That's crazy. I think that's why this game's going to perform really, really well, because it has a lot of love put into it. It is very well done. Let's look at the map. Alright, so we're going to augment this map around me, which I think is amazing. In earlier previews, the player didn't kind of disappear. And I think this... I wish that my player was still visible. It kind of overlaid itself, but I understand that it needs to have, some level of... Like, once I zoom in, I can't see the rest of the world. I only see the map. And that makes it a lot easier to see what's going on. But I do like in the trailers how they kind of, displayed it in this intersection, and I was like, ooh, that looks really cool. But anyway, what we've got here, we can... zoom around in this map here with this red outline is what's available in the beta. And the white outline around here is available, I presume, in the full game from what I've looked at. The red zone is the dark zone, which is PvP. And I've done all of the main story missions that I can do in the beta, which only took about an hour and a half. Our goal is that we're going to run over to the PvP zone, and we'll just go for a walk through town. I'll show you some of the sites, some of the things that happen along the way, and then we'll go to the PvP zone, and we'll see what happens there. But very beautiful map. I love the art style. It's a combination of futuristic but modern. And one of these cool, augmented reality. But for example, that line that's in front of me, that's my GPS. If I didn't want to see that, I can it's just a setting. I go into map, I push tab, it's instantly gone, and it's not there anymore. Very, very cool, but I'm going to use it so we don't get lost. This is grim, this game. I think currently, if I don't even hear the music, it's just like a very thin violin. There is a lot of death in this game. There is a lot of bodies, there is a lot of waste. It's really grim. And one thing I worry is that the game doesn't not portray that well, but the story seems to be a bit lighthearted. You're dropped in at the very start, and you're with another person, but they're kind of stuck to the base because they're injured. And we're securing this base of operations, we need to find some people to save it. And I was like, cool, we're regaining, just a little bit of ground from the rioters, this feels really good. Oh, we're scanning a civilian, do they need help? You alright? Oh, you need some cider. We'll give you some cider from XP, because I picked that up. Oh look, there's an incident report to collect. Discussions on how to rob. So that was that guy there in the green, the UTF, I'll zoom in here. He is one of the workers that, he should be helping out. But look, a cop car seems to smash him, knocked over. Just the amount of detail and depth in this world is amazing. I really like how it looks. But as I was saying, we're reclaiming this, and I feel like, we're making good work. And then we're talking to a doctor, and, we've got to try and figure out, what's causing this issue. And the other lady finds a report by Sarah, which is kind of like the crisis, the emergency response team. And they think it's this doctor, and she's like, oh, that doctor, always causes issue, nearly caused a riot one year at a conference. Oh gosh, we'll have to track him down, we need to find all his possessions, all that kind of stuff. I love this beautiful interface, absolutely gorgeous. And instantly, I just felt disappointed, because it's like, oh, we're trying to be superheroes again, we're trying to save the world ourselves, or save New York. And it just felt a bit too, over the top. I kind of wish it to be hard and gritty, and we're not saving the world, we're just, doing our best. I would really love to have seen that kind of story in the full game, but hey, we missed the start of the game, they don't show that, it's a small snippet just a little bit into the game, and I'll be interested to see where it goes when the full game comes out. I probably won't be playing the full game, I currently can't afford to play that, we're buying a house, but it'll be interesting to hear from people what the story is like. However, the world does, show off a very grim and bleak. There's a snowstorm coming in because it is getting foggy quickly. Not really storm, it's just low visibility. Just the grit. Absolutely beautiful, this game. Is that friendly? Yeah, it's friendly. Very good. So, in terms of control, I'm playing with the keyboard. You can play with a controller, and it works fine. You can parkour over most things by holding control, and you can actually parkour over most things. I wonder if I can parkour over this. I can. Very, very easy to control. A lot of fun to control, actually. I've been enjoying it a lot. The interface that you see on the right of my character, as we're running through, and you can just look at the amazing sights. Absolutely gorgeous, this game. I'll explain what the interface is. The first, top left, the big number, is my, my ammo for my gun. And as I shoot it, I'll probably shoot it here and it'll make a lot of noise. See, the number goes down, and that little bar by my crosshair goes down as well. I got a limited amount of ammo, but I can pick up ammo from people sometimes, but I can restock at bases. The number below it is the amount of ammo in my secondary weapon. So if I switch over to my secondary, there's 32 bullets in it. It's actually... Have you detected me? I noticed he looked a bit shady. Amount equipping your secondary weapon, which I actually think is quite useful. You've also got a pistol, which has got infinite ammo. There's two symbols. The interface is switched because I've gone to the side. My health is across there in every chunk. Once you lose everything in that chunk, you can't get it back until I use a med pick, which is down the bottom right there. I've got two of them. There's two icons. I'll use the right one, and what it does a scan, and all around me, it's going to tag anyone which finds, if there's any threats, and we've found 4. And the other one is a shield, and I'll demonstrate that to you in a moment. But it is a cover-based game, and so you should be, pushing the spacebar to jump into cover, and you can use this awesome positioning tool, and I can highlight, and it'll actually show me how I'll move there. So like that. If I hold spacebar, you will do the whole movement for me. If I want to move around, I just hold left, and it will fill up that arrow, and it automatically does it. It's actually really, really well done. So let's come back around to the side again. I'll switch over to the assault rifle, and let's get the grenadier because I don't like him. You're probably seeing the amount of bullets. These guys are pretty weak, but they are bullet sponges. So I use my other ability, which I've got as a shield. You are a shield guy. Oh, I've never used melee. Let's try this. Oh, I can't use melee with this on. A shield which blocks damage from the front. It shields health bars at the top there, and I can run around with this. And then as soon as I stop, the shield will come back out. I'll throw it away though. Throw it away? Yeah, I've thrown it away as I was running. Perfect. Good for single player missions, or when you're versing people in AI, that's the word I'm looking for. But other players I haven't used it against. Got grenades down there, and also for both. And if I hold V, I can show you my consumables, and I can switch it to a certain thing. I don't know if that just uses it straight away if I let go on it though. It will. Cool, I just ate a bar. And G is certain types of grenades. So if I want to switch to like incendiary grenades, I can push that there. When you want to throw a grenade, you push G, you highlight and you left click. But we're not going to do that. Excellent. I think that's most of the controls. We're nearly to the... You've got an awesome hat. You want something? No, I scared you away with my gun. Alright. We're 2 kilometers away from the checkpoint to the Dark Zone, so I shall explain how the Dark Zone works on our way there. There are plenty of little single-player missions, like save somebody. They're pretty standard, just kill some bad guys, that kind of stuff. But the Dark Zone's quite interesting, and I think it could be a lot of fun depending on the community and how they interact with it. The Dark Zone is an area where PvP is allowed. Now, everybody is friends to begin with, and you can go collect loot. To get loot out and just put it to your stash, because you are collecting weapons, you're trying to boost your numbers. It's that kind of game, like Destiny or Borderlands. You're trying to find better guns. You take it to these extraction points. I probably should show you before we get to the Dark Zone. So these extraction points look like this. You go into this area and you fire up a flare. Everybody knows you fired up that flare, and it takes a minute 30 for the helicopter to reach you. And then when it reaches you, you have to put your stuff onto the little leader drops down. You don't get extracted, just your loot. Now, if you want to, you could shoot another player. And if you shoot another player, you can pick up their loot, which is cool. However, everybody in the Dark Zone knows that you've killed a player, and you have a target above your head for a certain amount of time, depending on how many people you've killed. I think it's 30 seconds or 15 seconds. And I've walked into a party, because you can, like, this game's supposed to be played with parties of people, groups of people. And I've seen like a whole party run past, and they all had 15 seconds. And I fired a few bullets their way and then ran away because I was like, I'm not going to be able to take you out. This game is gorgeous. Look at the lighting effects. Absolutely awesome. There's vendors, stores. Because if I show you here, there's lots of numbers and stuff you can buy. Actually, I can buy some of these weapons. But I can't buy the gun. What a shame. I'm going to restock my ammo. Excellent. It's free to do that. In the top right there, you can probably see my rank. I'm level 6 in the game, but I'm also level 7 in the Dark Zone. The interface will jump up in a moment. But like this guy here, if I look at him, he's non-hostile. He's my friend at the moment. However, if I get close to someone who has, killed someone else, there'll be that red mark saying, hey, watch out for this guy. Now, if we just jump into the cover, like this area here, the extraction's going off soon. I think we should make our way up there into the harder zone, which is actually above my rank. But, there should be more action up there because it's the higher level players. Now, if you kill someone, you get their loot. However, there's a bigger target on your head. If you manage to survive it, I think you get a reward as well. But if you kill other players, and there's more of a target, and that target increases. And so there's a sense of, you want to kill only when it's worthwhile, but you also want to, survive that. Killing someone who has a target over their head and you're not a target at the moment gives you massive bonuses, and thankfully you don't get a target from doing that. So it's kind of, keen to watch out. I found it pretty safe though, just to run around. I have never been just targeted from the from the get-go. No one's just opened fire on me much. But in those cases, I've actually ended up, turning around and being able to shoot and kill them myself, and then getting a mark on top of my head because they hadn't, they didn't have one by that point. Alright, so this is a blockade area. It's a landmark on the map there. We'll run through here. Actually, there was bad guys here when I was here last. Like AI. Alright, there's no threats. Awesome. Okay, so this should be the more death. There'll be more death. It'll be interesting to see if we find anyone. We should be able to find a couple of characters. So these are some non-hostiles. And you see, like, most people just run past each other, just like an MMO, But up on the map, you see that little red X? Yeah, so someone's killed someone. It's that person there. One thing I should tell you about in this game here, if you... Oh, look. They're both there. Oh, no. Can't get off the hood. Can we get down, please? I have to go off the front. I don't know if I can kill both of them. Level 6 and level 7. They're in the same group. Let's make our way out. Oh, my character's not managing around the corner. Should we try it? Okay. I'm going to scan. I'm going to throw a grenade. Oh! They're running off. What a bunch of wusses. And they're in the area which they're not allowed to be, I don't think. Alright, we're going to run back in case they come back with a vengeance. I'm going to reload my guns. Oh, it's frustrating. We could have killed them off. We got some really good bonuses. So what we need to be doing is finding some loot so that we can extract it. And to find loot, you can go into these areas. I think this area here has a lot of bad guys in it. My ability is nearly recharged. Or we can go to those contamination zones. No threats. Alright. Oops, someone just started an extraction just around the corner. I haven't seen people like attack each other in them yet, but it'd be good to watch out for. Right. Last time I came in here, there was a million bad guys. And they thrashed me. I think something's broken with that step. I can't get up. Can use these cables as well. It is very eerie, this game, and I like it. I think it does a very good job at seeming bleak. The cool thing is that the game shows you, like, when you're going to take fall damage, if you push control, it'll show that if you're going to be jumping off, and taking a beating, it pops up red. The control button's like, you can jump off, but, think about your decision. I'd love to be able to take out some hostile agents, but I don't think we're going to find it. So there's a filter area here. We need to have a level of filter. So in this case, we're here. If you have at least one filter, we'll be fine. I have one. It's above my health there. And it doesn't wear down at the moment. It just seems like if you have one, you're fine. If you've got none, you'll take damage. And if you need to go into an area which has two, you'll need a level 2 filter. Seems pretty simple. The helicopter's arriving in a couple of seconds. It's just around the corner. Seems like we haven't found any... Someone's exercising. Interesting. Oh, there's the helicopter coming in there. I haven't found any loot. Like, now would be the time just to open fire on everybody. What's this guy? Oh, I know where we are. Because this is where I attacked some guys once. But they were bad, so it was alright.
15 seconds.
There's really no point in me coming out. I was looking for a shortcut, but there actually isn't. I forgot the normal way. I was looking, hoping, you know, there'd be a bit of action around here. There is... Oh, the rope's on the other side of that. Oh, there it is. Jump off. There's Beta. I have definitely noticed a few bugs, things like that. It's been a little bit frustrating. Let's just run up the normal way. I'm impressed. Like, ooh, there's some guys coming down. I have been impressed. Like, my expectations were, you know, not this high. I was like, oh, hopefully the game was good. But I was like, wow, this is actually really, really cool. Alright, so there's some characters still here. They've killed the AI, which was here. But I want to hunt myself down some bad guys. But then again, I should hunt down some people myself to secure their loot. And you can tell when someone's got loot, there's a little yellow pouch in the back. Oh, see that little red mark? Yeah, I just took some damage. So one thing I was going to point out earlier that I lost my train of thought on was, if you are going to quit from the game, in the normal area you can quit instantly, but if you're going to quit in the dark zone, you have to stay there for 20 seconds. I can actually show you by pushing quit. And it says you want to quit, and just connecting. And if you push anything, you're going to, you know, jump out of that. I think that's really cool. So something in other games, I presume you can Alt F4 and you can force yourself out, which is something which happens in Rust and DayZ when players don't want to be killed. But it'll be interesting to see what penalties are associated with that. You can go in here. Oh, look. Here's some threats. But there's some good guys. Those white markers are good characters. Oh, we're in this place again.
Get the back.
The level 8 slow. Oh! No, I've been taken. I've been gone. Like, oh, don't hit me. Don't get me. The guys, the AI, I'm level 6, and he's level 8, but man, they thrash you. The time to... I'm going to respawn now. The time to kill has been a very big talking point, because it seemed quite long in some of the teaser trailers, but I'm actually... I think it's about right. For an RPG, it's about right. Oh, notice the loading times, by the way. I am playing on my hard drive. I'm not playing on my SSD, so it's a little bit longer, but it has been surprisingly quick. And we've respawned here in one of the checkpoints. I've been impressed. It's interesting. I would like to see what the full release is like, and that is pretty soon. But I gotta hand it to them. There's been a lot of love put into this game, and I'd love to see, you know, where it goes, what features they're gonna add, what's out there in this massive expanse. There's a lot of room here. While it doesn't seem much, there's my death location. While it doesn't seem much like in compared to the whole of, you know, Manhattan Island, or I think it's Manhattan Island. I don't know New York that well, but certainly like, you know, a couple of big city blocks. But I think there'd be a lot of depth into it. It could be really cool. There's an underground system as well that you can explore. They might open up, you know, Grand Central Park, you know, in DLC or in later expansions. I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes. I've been impressed with the beta, and it was worth the 26 gigabytes download, which took like 2 days on my internet. But impressions are good. Keen to see what the full game is like. Thank you guys for watching my impressions. Keen to hear yours and what you thought of the game. And if you played it for yourself and had different thoughts, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.